When you're devising your own fighting strategy, you want to have a primary, one or two secondary kicks, and then one or two tertiary kicks that you can mix up and blend together into a complete fighting style or fighting system that you have. It doesn't have to be complicated. The traditional KISS principle has always applies to fighting strategy, which is keep it simple, stupid. If you haven't heard that before, I'd be surprised, but you want to keep your fighting strategy very, very simple. When you're training and you're developing intermediate beginners, they're probably only going to have one primary and then experimenting with possible secondaries or tertiary techniques that they like doing. To develop a complete system, you're looking at 3 to 5 years of consistent training. It's not something that you're going to be training for 6 months and have this whole system figured out. You're going to be constantly changing and updating what you want to do. But your primary kick is going to be something that you're going to be throwing 90% of the match. Okay? For boxers, primary would be a jab. You know, it keeps people at bay, keeps them under control. Your cross is going to be a secondary, possibly the hook is a secondary, depending on what you throw. A secondary is a technique that you're only going to use a handful of times in the match. Okay? You need to develop it along with the primary so that they work together. But if you're throwing this secondary more than 8 or 10 times in a minute and a half, 2-minute match, it's probably going to be too much. You want to kind of conceal it with the actions of the primary. Your secondary should also set up the tertiary so they're working together as a combined unit. Once you get the secondary and the tertiary figured out, the tertiary is probably something you're going to throw maybe once or twice in a 2-minute match. Very, very seldom it comes out, but the goal is when that tertiary does come out, your success rate is very, very high. Okay? It's the kind of thing that you want to knock people out with. You know, that's what you want for your tertiary. All 3 of these kicks, so the primary sets up the secondary sets up the tertiary can set up the primary or the secondary. They all work together as a combined system, and you just have to plug and play and figure out what techniques you want to use. I said, if you're talking boxing, you're talking jab, cross, hook, maybe an uppercut. Overhand right might be thrown in there as a tertiary. The Superman punch is absolutely a tertiary. There's no way that you should ever be throwing that, you know, more than once an entire match, and that's almost a Hail Mary tertiary. So I hope that helps you guys kind of figure out planning your own strategy as far as what you want to do and what you want to build in your fighting style. The step 4 backside kick motion is going to be set up with the turning kick into a backside kick. So if I come 1, 2 with the turning kick into the backside, to accelerate that to make it even faster, if I know that my target is already programmed to back up, or at least to move when he sees my turning kick coming, why throw the turning kick if I know it's going to miss? So I sacrifice the kick and come in for the backside. That's going to make, instead of 2 beats, 1 per kick, it's now a beat and a half. So it accelerates my speed by sacrificing that kick. Hopefully this is enough to catch him off guard. Later in the match, if we're still going, and now he sees me step forward and he expects the backside kick, so his guard is here, and that's when you go upstairs. Okay, so same, and it has to look the same. Timing, everything has to look the same. If it looks different, if you throw it a little bit faster, okay, probably good enough, but my knee still has to bait him into thinking that turning kick is coming. If for some reason he doesn't move when I throw that turning kick, instead of sacrificing it, I'm going to hit him, and then hit him again. Sometimes a sacrifice is a sacrifice, sometimes a sacrifice is going to be an actual kick. It all depends on how they move and what they do. The case we're talking about here as far as tactics or strategy goes, my turning kick is setting up the backside. The backside kick is setting up my spin hook. If I use it as a lead leg hook, my lead leg side is setting up my lead leg hook. My lead leg hook is setting up the lead leg turning kick or lead leg roundhouse. They're working together as a system. So What I kind of just showed you is with the step forward backside and the lead leg. It's kind of two different fighting styles. You can mix them up a little bit, but it's really two different concepts. So don't think that's all one concept. Those are really two that can work together very easily. And if you understand that, now you're on the path to building your own fighting style. Okay? But initially, you should have a handful of techniques that you're good at, put them together, and then build another system over here. If you can get those two systems to work together, now you got a fighting style. So that's pretty much what I have for you guys today. So if you like what we're doing, please hit that like and subscribe button. And until next time, God bless and keep on kicking.